Good day. Today we're looking at the bank reconciliation statement and how to do that. In the question, we're going to look at 1.1.1, calculate the correct bank balance, and 1.1.2, prepare the bank reconciliation statement. And then we'll also look at the problems that they suffered. There's the same. So firstly, they give us last month's recon statement. You can see we need to do for 30 June 2015. The recon statement that they give us is 31 May, which is last month's. We need this to see what was outstanding. Some of that may now be fixed, but the ones that's not fixed or did not come through on the bank statement, we must list again. We also need that for our opening bank balance. If we want the opening bank balance, it will be on the previous recon. But let's work through the information. First thing that they tell us, that deposit of 30,000, the one that was outstanding last month, appeared on the new bank statement. So it's no longer outstanding, so we're no longer going to list it. The error of 3,600 was corrected. So there's the error, 3,600, so it's corrected. So that 30,000 and the 3,600, they now fixed, or they came through, so we're no longer going to list them on the new recon. Right, check 958, there it is, issued in May, was reflected on the bank statement for June as 9,700. The bank statement, in other words, the 9,700 is correct. So who must fix it? We must fix it. The statement is correct. We must fix it. If we fix it, we do it on either a CRJ or a CPJ. So let's look at how we're going to fix it. We're going, so that was for check 958. They tell us that the 7,900 that we've got is incorrect. And 9,700, which is on the bank statement, is correct. So firstly, we're going to work out the difference between the two, and that is 1,800. What did we initially do with when the check was issued? It was entered on a CPJ. So the 9,700 or the 7,900 was entered on a CPJ. Good, so, but it should have been 9,700. So, must we make it more to get to the correct amount or less? We must make it more. We've got less than what it should be. So we must make it more. To make it more, we must do it on the same journal that it was initially. It was on a CPJ. To get the CPJ to be more, we must put through a further CPJ entry. So we're going to put 1,800 on the CPJ. But before we start putting in anything, we must first make sure that we put in any opening balances. So let's just go and look for any opening balances. And there under B, the provisional totals for the CRJ is 87220 and the CPJ 74860. So let's go to the CRJ and we'll start with those totals on the two journals. The CRJ was 87220 and the CPJ was 74860. Good, now we can put in the transactions. Just make them, align them. Good, so the first one that we said was we must put through a further 1,800 on the CPJ. So we go to the CPJ, will a check that we need to put through will increase the CPJ total. So we will add the 1,800 to the CPJ. Let's look for the next one. Check. It's reflected on the bank statement. So we fixed the 958. So it's no longer outstanding. So what have we got outstanding? The check 614 and 962. Let's just read before we look at them again. Bank statement, the other outstanding checks have not been presented, which would normally mean we have to list them on our new recon. But before we do that, if you see one with a much older date, you must first check if it's not older than 6 months. Because if it's older than 6 months, it is stale and we need to cancel it. So let's work out, and it will 99% of the time be like that. You will have to cancel it. We're now working on the end of June. So that check was dated 20 December 2014. So let's work out how old it is. It's 20 January, 20 February, 20 March, 20 April, 20 May, 20 June. So it's older than 6 months. So we must cancel it. To cancel something, we do it on the opposite journal. A check was on a CPJ, so how will we cancel it? On a CRJ. So we must add that check 614 for 10,500 to our CRJ. So on the CRJ, 10,500. Now I've only got this one check 962 because the 30,000 they said came through. This one I cancelled. The 7,900 that was wrong, I fixed it, so it's also not outstanding. And the 3,600 they also told me it was fixed by the bank. So the only item is the 4,500, which must come onto next month's recon. But we'll look at that when we do the recon. We did BC. Bank statement revealed the following. In other words, it's on the bank statement, not yet on our journal. So we must put him on the journals. We must just figure out the CRJ or a CPJ. A direct deposit, meaning money coming in for rent income. So we received it. So that 21,000 must come onto our CRJ. So it's 21,000. Stop order. Stop order is when they deduct money directly from our bank account. Stop order or debit order is a direct deduction, so it's a payment. For insurance, 6,500. So it's a CPJ, 6,500. RD check originally received from Nisi for 2250 in settlement of his debt of 2,300, which means we now need to cancel. So we must figure out on what the opposite journal will be. Cancel opposite. When we receive the check, we put it on a CRJ. Don't get caught by the word check. We can either issue or receive. Issue on CPJ, receive CRJ. So we received a check and it was on a CRJ. Now to cancel it, must go on to a CPJ. But only the amount of the check. The difference between what he owed and the check would be discount. That we would reverse on a general journal, but we're not looking at that now. So when you get one where it's reverse, where it's a RD check, you just look for the check total. It will be the lesser of the two. So we're going to reverse that CRJ of 2250 on the CPJ. So on the CPJ, 2250. Bank charges, we pay bank charges. The bank deducted from our bank statement, so it goes on to CPJ, 210. And then they tell us the bank balance per bank statement is something. They don't give us the amount. So when we get to that, we will see how we handle that. The next info is following it on the CPJ and not on the bank statement. It is on the journals, not on the bank statement, which means they must go onto the bank recon. And the bank bookkeeper recorded the following entry. It's a cash receipt, so it was 18,500 that we received, and it was only recorded on the 15th of July. In other words, not before the end of June. So we must still, or it was only on the bank by the 15th of July, so it's not on the bank statement yet. So we must show it on the bank recon. The second part just tells us that there's something wrong. There will be an additional question for that. For now, we're just interested in the amount that we banked and that it hasn't been recorded yet. So it must come onto a bank statement still. So we will show it on the bank recon. The bank must still put it through. So we've done everything to finalize our journals. We can now just add up all the CPJ and CRJ entries, 118, 720, and my CPJ 85620. The next bit is to calculate the bank balance. To do that, you can either just add and deduct the amounts, or you can do a quick little T account for the bank. First thing, we always look for the opening balance, then we look for the total receipts and total payments. But firstly, we want to see what the opening balance is. Now, the opening balance would be the same as last month's closing balance, and we'll find that on the recon statement for last month, the 31st May. And there it is, balance per bank account. Don't get confused between statement and account. Account is in our book, statement is the bank statement, their records. And it was unfavorable. In other words, we owed the bank the money. So it is a liability then, so it will be on the credit side. So this balance of 2,300 will be on the credit side. So on the credit side, we're going to have the balance of 2,300. 2,300. And the only other two items will then be the CRJ and the CPJ totals. Money that we receive will make our bank more, so it is on the debit side. Total receipts, and that was 118,720. Just get it sorted out here. Okay. And on the credit side, we'll have the total payments. And that was 85620. Now it's just a matter of balancing the account. This side much bigger than that side. So the total for the debit side is 118,720. And the total for the credit side is 87,920. But we will copy the total over 118,720, work out the difference, and that becomes my balance. Carry down. Difference between 118,720 and the total of those two, which is 87920, gives me 30,800. So 30,800, bring it down. 30,800. So now it's a debit balance, favorable balance. Good. In the next part, we will look at